Good Thursday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase presented by Barb and Keswick Vineyards. This an insider's look into an industry that is absolutely critical to Charlottesville and Central Virginia, an industry made up of fabulously talented people. We're going to showcase 3 of them today on the Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase. Now, Judah is the director, Judah Wickhauer. Why don't we go to the studio camera and let's welcome one of our favorite people, Barbara Lundgren, the star of our show. She's the fairy godmother. Barbara Lundgren, que pasa, amiga? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing extremely well. It's been a week. I know you guys are all working hard. We're watching the news. We're watching the governor.
Always watching the governor.
Always watching the governor.
Hey, Gov, yeah. We are staying in close contact with our venues and our caterers especially, and working on all the safety procedures, and I think we'll be in good shape. There's not a lot to talk about yet until those events happen, so we'll cover that a little bit more in the coming weeks. But we have a lot of other things to cover today.
So much to cover today.
Yeah.
Our good friend Ray Cadell watching the program. A natural segue from Ray Cadell watching to your fantastic shirt and what's happening this weekend.
Okay, yeah. We're going to have the biggest, best fireworks that Charlottesville's ever had. We've talked a lot about the fundraising and finding the site. We've got the best site for everyone in Charlottesville to see the fireworks, and they've made it a lot that we haven't talked about is that it's going to be bigger.
Right.
They are because they've been a little bit confined in the city to the size of the show. What a lot of people don't know is this is going higher and bigger.
Right.
And so you don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss it.
We are now at, Barbara, I'm going to throw this to you. You've been in this community your entire life, right?
That's right.
2 weeks and change ago, you get involved, Bob Shada, Ray Cadell, some amazing people. We're at $33,229 through private donations here in Charlottesville and Central Virginia.
That's right. And once we get there, any of the net proceeds are going to go to the food bank, much in need of help right now.
Sure.
So keep on going, Charlottesville. Keep on going. We need them.
Tiffany Rosales, thank you for sharing the show. We'll go to you in about 4 or 5 minutes. Guys, give it a like, give it a share for Barbara Lundgren. Tell us about the guests.
So we're going to have Tiffany Rosales of Commonwealth Cake Company, and she is fairly new to the wedding scene, but she makes the most beautiful cakes, luscious, tasty cakes, and she does a beautiful display. You know, we might have a cutting cake. The cutting cake is pretty trendy now, rather than going in the tall layers, which is...
What's a cutting cake?
A cutting cake is where the couple will choose 1 or 2 layers, maybe 3, and it's a smaller cake. Then we might make a display of various desserts.
Like cake pops?
Cake pops or cupcakes, or you might have a cookie display. We had one wedding, I went into a cookie coma.
Cookie coma, Barbara Lundgren. And you like your sweets.
I like cookies. But, Pennsylvania weddings are all about cookies, and all the aunts make the cookies and all of that. But the desserts are just... the desserts will be just a beautiful display, and the display will be with flowers, and all of the containers are just gorgeous. So
I love it. You have comments
Tiffany
coming in from your friends already. You ready for this?
Sure.
Iris Hosey Luck.
Iris is, my partner in crime at Barb Wired, yes.
Good morning, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lady. Stan Spencer. Barbara is a very talented young lady. I love her, and I love this show.
Hi, Stan.
Olivia Branch, welcome to the show. So one thing I'm excited about, and I'm going to throw it to you, I'm excited to ask Tiffany maybe like how things are changing with cakes at weddings.
Oh, yeah. That she will let us know. But she's up and coming and doing a great job with us. Yeah, she's one of my go-tos.
When you're putting...
They're all busy.
Right.
They're all very busy.
Right. So tell me how a wedding planner works. When you're planning a wedding, and you're managing all these. You're essentially a general contractor for a home.
Right.
What's your strategy? Do you have folks that are like 2 or 3 options in each, like, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You see what I'm saying? Each need?
Referrals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will start with the couple. They might have some vendors in place. They might have nothing going on. We might start with a venue, and then we'll get into all the catering and all the other vendors. But so in the cake category, in most categories, I'm going to work with 3 referrals. And when it gets into photography, we work with more.
One of your favorites is watching right now.
Yeah.
Aaron Watson.
Hi, Aaron.
And he says, I love the pictures in the
Yeah,
background.
there you go.
With an emoji wink. Maybe one of these are his.
Maybe, maybe. But we'll look at 3. I'll check. They might be checking, or I might be checking, depending on the level of service. And we look at their availability, and then we do some quoting and price comparisons. They will decide, maybe just based on price, because I'm not going to give them someone that's not delicious and beautiful. Okay, so they trust me on that.
Sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And then they will hire them and go do a tasting and choose what they want to purchase.
Fantastic. More props coming in for the very popular Barbara Lundgren on today's program. This is coming in from Lisa Anisu. Love you, Barbara Lundgren.
So sweet, thank you.
How about a fabulous, dynamic power couple in the wedding industry?
Absolutely. Nate and Ann are coming on. Nate and Ann Kibler. They are just entrenched in the wedding community with hair and makeup and the photo booth, and now wedding bounce houses, the white wedding bounce house. And they were just starting that when COVID hit, so we haven't been able to experience that much. But it's coming. It's going to be fun.
I can't wait. Aaron says this one right behind him, one of his absolute favorites. Aaron Watson, you did a
last fall
of a job on this picture
right
here. So we'll have the Kiblers. One of the things I've been so impressed with them is their willingness to try new things in weddings, whether it's makeup, a photo booth, whether it's a bounce house. But these folks are so like honest and courageous and vulnerable with their efforts to pursue a family and pregnancy.
Absolutely. They've been through IVF. He accidentally wrote a book
Barbara brought it to the show. It's on. Here it is.
Yeah, there it is. And he just
put that up again, Jerry.
For their first experience in bringing Kai into the world, he just journaled and came up with the 50,000 words he needed, and someone said, "Hey, let's look at publishing that." And
he just journaled and came out with 50,000 words.
It's so raw and it's so Nate.
You read it?
So yeah. And we did some fundraising with it to help other IVF couples, and we've worked with several couples to help them in their IVF treatments.
I love it.
So they'll talk about that a little bit too.
I love how you go about life. You really are like, you put others ahead and you just focus on others. And it's such a testament to you.
Oh, thank you.
I saw that with the 4th of July.
Yeah.
With the fireworks campaign. Can you get the GoFundMe link on screen so we get a couple more donations?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to help the food bank too.
Thank you.
We think we will get where we need to be, but we want to help the food bank. They've helped us a lot, so we need to help them out.
So guys, we'll reach out to Tiffany Rosales here in a matter of moments, and then Nate and his beautiful better half Ann at about 10:40 here on the show. Judah Wickhauer, my friend, should I go ahead and reach out to Tiffany now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Good.
It is ringing as we speak for Tiffany Rosales. I'm excited to feature this entrepreneur on the Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase.
A lovely lady.
Powered by Barb Wire and Keswick Vineyards. We have her on the line. Tiffany, I can't wait to show you. Look at those amazing cakes behind you.
Oh,
my
she's got the
goodness
cakes
gracious.
behind her.
She's got the best backdrop
wonderful.
ever. Hold on one second. I'm going to get the green light from Judah to get you on screen. Judah, can we get her on screen?
just a second.
You look absolutely fantastic. He's given me the green light, and you have cakes behind you. All right, so Tiffany, you're live for Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase. Before we talk shop and I pass you to Barbara, how about personally, you, Tiffany, what are you all about? Introduce yourself to everybody that's watching.
Okay, well, I'm Tiffany Rosales. I'm a daughter to two amazing parents. I think they're watching right now.
Nice.
My dad was actually in the Army for 22 and a half years.
Okay.
And that's how we ended up here in Virginia. I have two siblings. I'm the oldest, so I like to remind them that I'm the favorite child. I'm also a wife. Most people know me through my husband. He actually worked in the car industry for lots of years. He was at one of the popular dealerships in Charlottesville. And we've got 4 kids, so I'm also usually referred to as one of my kids' parents. 2 of our kids are heavily involved in sports, so when I'm not doing cakes, we spend our time at a sports field somewhere.
Oh, and we are ready for that, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've been missing that too. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to my granddaughter playing. We're watching her online this weekend, but next weekend I get to go to Richmond and watch her. Yeah.
What's she doing? Is she playing sports?
Oh yes, she's a dynamic softball player
Awesome.
at Monticello High School and a rising senior. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, about Tiffany. So you've been in business how long?
It's been 8 years.
Has it been? Okay. Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a long time, but I don't feel like it's been a long time.
It does
It's
fly.
like the new kid on the block. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the types of cakes you do. They are so gorgeous, but there's so many varieties and the flavors. And what's your favorite? What favorites do you get the most requests for?
So right now, I built my brand on wedding cakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I strictly tend to stick to wedding cakes unless one of my couples reaches out and asks for a birthday cake or something like that. So I do primarily do wedding cakes. Most of my cakes are buttercream cakes. I can do fondant, and occasionally I will, but most couples don't like the taste of it, and that's fine. So I tell them, don't waste your money because most people are going to peel it off and throw it away anyway. So if we can do the design in buttercream, that's what I prefer to do.
Do we need to explain what fondant is?
I have no idea.
Yeah, okay. He
I
doesn't
just
know.
like eating your delicious cakes, Tiffany.
Right. Yeah, right.
Fondant is like a sugar paste that can be rolled out very thin, and you can drape it over the cake, and it makes a beautiful, smooth finish on the cake. But you can also you can manipulate it in fun ways, like putting it into a mold to get different designs to put on the cake. So there's a lot of things that you can do with it, but a lot of people don't like the taste of it. And it's not that it's
not tasty. No.
Terrible. It depends on what brand you get. The more expensive brands taste better, but then you have to increase the cost of the cake. So if you're dealing with a client that has a strict budget, sometimes fondant just isn't even an option. So buttercream, in this area, buttercream is very popular and it tastes delicious. Everybody loves buttercream.
What I've been so impressed with you and other pastry chefs is that in more recent years, you've been able to do such a phenomenal job on buttercream in hot weather. We're at a lot of outdoor venues, and it used to be we just couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. We have to bring the cake out at the last minute, and it's movement, and it was just a nightmare. But you've been so much better with buttercream, and fondant was the way to go if you were doing an outdoor wedding. But we don't have to worry about that anymore. It's just amazing.
Well, it helps when you're working with amazing wedding planners and venues. I love working with couples that have wedding planners because they'll send me the timeline. So I can look and see when the cake is being cut, and then I can plan my delivery around that time frame. Mm-hmm. We'll also check the weather ahead of time. So if it's going to be too hot, we might push that delivery back closer to the reception. Mm-hmm. For me, it's important to not be intrusive. to the wedding. Not that I don't want to see the guests.
Oh, I won't let you. No, you're not.
I love when you do that, Barbara.
And I've heard it before. Like, you've given me a good time frame. This is when the ceremony is going to start.
Right.
At certain venues, you might not be able to drive up the driveway while the ceremony is going on, which helps me out a lot as far as planning.
Mm-hmm.
Keswick is also one of my favorite venues. I've worked with Brian as far as if it's going to be 90 degrees outside and they've got a buttercream cake, we might push that delivery back so that the cake doesn't melt.
We also have the kitchen. Right.
My job is to make sure the cake tastes good, it's beautiful, and it stands for as long as it needs to stand before that cake gets cut.
Yeah. Good stuff. We always know you're going to do a great job. Tell us more. We touched on the
pivots.
Many desserts that you do as well. So you did a beautiful dessert display for us recently at Delphos, and so
Yes.
Tell us how you came up with that.
So sometimes couples want cupcakes, and cupcakes are fine. I don't tend to do too many of them just because they don't stay fresh very long, which means I have to literally bake them the day before the wedding.
Wow.
And decorate them the day before. 250 cupcakes, that's a lot of work to squeeze into that short time frame. So what I've done is started offering something called cake shooters. And I think they look a little more elegant for a wedding.
Beautiful.
They come in these really beautiful plastic cups, and they're layered with cake and buttercream. And then I'll include the little spoons that you can serve with them. We can put them on a cake stand. We can put them on an elegant platter. We can put them on a tiered stand, to whatever fits in with the aesthetic of the wedding. But I just feel like they present much nicer for a wedding. Sometimes we'll still do cupcakes because some people are just set on cupcakes, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with a good cupcake. I don't really do anything else. I don't do cake pops. I don't make cookies, but I do know wonderful people that do, and I will definitely.
We partner with others and bring in things. We might pick up, the caterer might pick up other things like donuts or things like that, and you're very flexible with those ideas, and that's wonderful. Wonderful
and
for
that's
us.
the thing.
As well.
I try to be flexible because I do understand.
Yeah.
People's needs. Not everyone wants to spend $1,000, $2,000 on their dessert, and that's fine.
Sure.
So I try to make sure I've got something in between so that I can serve as many people as possible.
So if the aunts in Pennsylvania want to make those cookies, you're going to work with them. That's right.
I'm not going to argue with them.
Right. Great.
Let me throw this to you, Tiffany. How we talk about managing as entrepreneurs, we're constantly wondering what's next. So when COVID hit, the uncertainty and the vulnerability we were all feeling is literally what we do as entrepreneurs all the time. So let me ask you, what was going through your mind initially when COVID was breaking, the fear and uncertainty, and how you overcame it, and then your kind of your temperature and your state of mind right now that we've had a few months to digest everything.
So initially I panicked, and I think that's normal. I think we all panicked at first. What's going to happen? Are our weddings going to happen? Am I going to lose everything that I booked for the year? What am I going to do? After my husband talked me off the cliff and I calmed down a little bit, I sat and I looked at where I was in my business right now. And I'm in a fortunate situation. I don't have a storefront, so I don't have to worry about the overhead of rent or paying employees. So I knew that I might need to pivot at some point, but I decided to pause for the time being just to see how this was going to play out. Was I going to take smaller cakes and do non-wedding cakes? That was a possibility. But, the grocery stores, I don't have to buy my ingredients in bulk because I don't do a huge scale of orders. I can get most of my stuff sourced locally, but they were putting restrictions on butter. I can't make a cake with one box of butter. I need like 16 pounds of butter. So would it be fair for me to take an order from someone and then have to call them back and say, I'm sorry, I couldn't do your order this week because I couldn't get my hands on sugar or flour? I didn't want to put myself in that position or a potential customer. So I decided for my business, it was just best to pause and work on other stuff. I had the behind the scenes administrative stuff that I needed to do. I'm still doing proposals and making sketches for customers and being flexible to move dates around if I needed to for customers. Right now, things are a little better. I do worry about fall, especially with numbers increasing, but I know I'm going to be okay. At the end of the day, I'm going to be okay. I haven't lost too many weddings. Most of my weddings have been postponed or moved to next year. So I'm trying not to stress about it because I know we're going to get through this. It's just, what are my weddings going to look like? Am I going to have the grand 3 and 4 tier wedding cakes that I'm used to doing? Or am I going to focus that energy on the smaller 1 tier, 2 tier cakes, maybe kitchen cakes, something like that? But I think we'll be okay.
Good take.
The word stressed spelled backwards, hey, it's desserts.
Oh,
Okay.
that's good. Stress spelled backward is desserts.
That's right.
I love you, Barb.
So it's all about you.
Well, that's the thing.
That's your pivot.
That's the last sweet treat that those
Yeah.
couples are giving their guests before they send them home for the evening.
Right.
They've come, they've looked at the bride's beautiful dress, they've admired the couple, they've shared in their love story, and they're giving them that last little thank you for being here. So that's why my cakes have to be beautiful and they have to be delicious, because that's the last thing that they're going to remember. And people do talk about weddings. They talk about what they saw. They talk about how great the food was. They talk about how amazing the music was, and they talk about the cake. So,
And grandmothers, especially, we have to look at the timeline for the grandmothers because they might want to leave early, but they're not going to leave without the cake.
yes.
I mean, they will not. We have
Sounds
to
like
look
my
at
grandmother.
the timeline for the grandmother. So, and then we do the cake, then the first bus. It's like, that's the way we do it. It's very interesting how we have to juggle things. Yeah.
Let me throw this to you, Tiffany. What do you think, and I want to turn this into a sizzle reel from Barbara's show. Where do you think what do you think the new wedding is going to look like across the board? Certainly for Commonwealth cakes, but what do you think weddings are going to look like moving forward?
I think we're going to see more smaller, intimate weddings, at least for the time being. Until people are comfortable traveling and being out in large groups, I think we're going to have more intimate affairs. And that's a good thing. Like, you have more time to greet your guest and talk to your guest and chat with your guest. It takes a lot of time. I remember our wedding was 150 people, and I don't even think I ate dinner. I did eat cake. But I don't think I had time to actually eat dinner because you want to make sure you're saying hi to everyone. So I think we are going to see smaller weddings, and that's not a negative. I think that's a positive.
It's a negative for some vendors, but I mean, it cuts down on your head
I'm
count.
an optimist, half glass full.
There you go.
So I try to see
And the
good
glass is refillable.
Yeah, I try to see the good.
In the next few years,
What
the
do you
glass
think of
will
her
be
take? Do you
refillable.
think she's right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are saying that. Yeah. It'll be smaller for a while. Also, we've said too, we're going to be safer. We're going to come out of all of this healthier, I think, and put in some practices that probably should have been in for a long time. So
There you
I
go.
think we're going to come out better.
How about her desserts? Are you going to see changes, do you think? So we were talking with Ray Cadell, and Tiffany said the buffet line, there was somebody walking a plate through the buffet line. They were asking the guests what they wanted. The person walked the plate through the buffet line, so no guests actually went to the buffet line from a safety standpoint.
Right.
What are you seeing, or what are you expecting or predicting? What's your crystal ball say with cakes and with desserts?
We're probably going to see more requests for kitchen cakes, and that's a sheet cake, essentially. It stays in the back. They slice it up, plate it, and then bring it out to serve. I, in the past, didn't do very many. A lot of people request it because they think it's going to be cheaper. It's not necessarily cheaper. I'm still baking the same amount of cake, so I typically charge around the same price that I would charge for a tiered cake. But I'm reevaluating how I'm going to do that, because a kitchen cake is actually going to be a lot safer. That cake is not going to be sitting out on a table for everyone to walk by and breathe on. It's going to be in the back. The caterers will cut it and serve it, and it'll just be a safer situation for everyone.
Good
So
point.
I might not push back as much on kitchen cakes, because I think actually the way to go in a scenario like this.
Good point. Good point. So you had someone very special, and someone special to me, who helped you get started. And we always talk about mentoring.
Yes.
Who is that?
Terry Edwards. She owned Cakes Unlimited, and she actually made my wedding cake.
Oh,
When I started doing this was when she had just announced her retirement. And so I had reached out to her. I actually got cake pans and some cake stands from her. And we had a long conversation because I wasn't sure if I could do this. We already had lots of well-established, talented cake makers in the area. And she said, look, your cakes are level, they're straight. People take years to master that, and you've already got it. You're good to go. And just that brief conversation with her gave me the confidence to do this. And she always told me that if I needed anything, I could reach out and she'd be there for me. And I've been rolling ever since.
Yeah.
I'm in a good network. We've got Anita, I've got Rachel from Cakes by Rachel, I've got Kathy from Favorite Cakes. If I ever need anything, I can always reach out to one of them, and they have my back.
Yep. Terry was one of the first she was my go-to when I was getting started, and taught me a lot too.
Amazing person.
Absolutely. What a sweet lady. And we miss her. but and I'm always finding I have to encourage my couples to book you guys early, because a lot of people think, oh, I can get a cake.
She's super busy.
They're all busy.
Yeah,
they're
she's so
all
talented.
busy. Yeah, and because they're so good and there's so many weddings, I could be scrambling sometimes, especially in the more popular months, to get Tiffany or Rachel. And it's just they're very busy. So
how about this one? So we're going to go Tiffany to Nate and Ann here in a matter of moments. We are a platform of hope. You have a lot of folks watching right now. I like maybe a message of positivity or hope from you, with a lot of folks watching the show, just like we are, just like Barbara is, just like Judah is. We're so uncertain. Every day it's something different we're hearing or reading, and we're uncertain. So maybe a message of hope for everybody that's watching, Tiffany.
Just relax and take it one day at a time. I mean, this is changing every day, and I'm a planner. I like to plan things out 6 months to a year in advance. You can't plan with this. Relax, live in the moment, embrace it, spend time with your family, do things that you haven't had a chance to do, and just ride the wave. That's all you can do at this point.
She is so right.
Amen.
That's perfect.
Tiffany, you're a natural at this. Tiffany just crushed this.
Absolutely.
How about we'll do Commonwealth Cake Company? Give her a little bit of love here before we get the Kiblers
I
on.
love Tiffany. She's just so dependable and good communicator. I love that. I can always know that I'm going to hear from her as soon as I reach out, and that's always so important to me. And I just love this girl.
Oh, thank you.
Tiffany, you made a lot of people proud today. You crushed it, lady.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Jerry.
You have a good one.
You too. Thanks, Barb.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Okay, you dot the I's and cross the T's on Tiffany, and I'll get Ann and Nate on the line.
Okay. So let's see. What more can we say about Tiffany? I mean, she's just awesome. Well, let's just see if they're coming up. We have so much to talk about with
The
Nate
Kiblers.
and Ann.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
We got them on the line here.
Yay,
We'll go to you
good,
guys here in a
good.
matter of moments. Judah, you give us the green light to welcome them on the show. You guys are live in front of a lot of people here. So we're going to go to you in a matter of moments. Give us a primer of what we can expect from the Kiblers here.
Oh, well, most people know them in the wedding industry for hair and makeup, photo booth, and now the white wedding bounce house is coming up. But they're having triplets. They're having triplets. And they just announced last week. I'll let you do it. They did their reveal last week. I'll let you do that. Hey, beautiful people.
I know. Hey, beautiful people. Okay, Judah, we may need the on-screen graphic here. Nate, I can't start with you, Nate. I got to start with this very beautiful lady that is next to you here. I'm sorry, Nate. Okay.
That's what I expected.
I'm sorry, Nate. All right, Ann, introduce yourself to everybody, the family, before we start talking shop here.
Hi, I'm Ann Kibler. I'm married to Nate, obviously, and I run Charlottesville Makeup Artist, and also we raise your old son.
He's 4 now. Yeah, wow. That's where time has flown. That's for
Yeah.
sure. And then Nate.
Can you guys see us okay?
Yes.
We got an on-screen graphic
got
for you, Nate. We're using your audio. Everything is good. Everything is real good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We're doing both. Yeah.
Well, we've been in the wedding industry combined over 15 years, and we both started up in 12. I have a photo booth in Charlottesville, and we get to do not only weddings but all kinds of awesome events, throughout Charlottesville and the entire state. We have our foundation, the Kairos Fertility Foundation, where I think we'll talk about this a little bit, but we've been able to help 3 couples in the last years that were did not have the finances really to have children, and we're going through infertility that now have children. So they all have little boys, and a blessing to be able to help people there as well.
That's awesome.
Here's a theme. Everything keeps coming in threes.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, something about the Trinity or something there, I believe. So you're having triplets, and you did your reveal last week, and
Well, to our complete shock, if you couldn't see it on my face, we are having girls.
3
Wow!
girls, all
That's
girls.
amazing, Nate. Good luck,
Yeah,
dog.
I know.
It's crazy because if you go, his brothers have some sisters, but if you go back in the line, like generations, there's been never a girl, and our first kid was a boy. So I don't know, it's a 75% chance with triplets that you're going to have a mix. So, we were just expecting a mix, and nope, it's all girls.
Nate,
So there you go.
these daughters are going to look like Ann, and Nate, you're going to need a baseball bat by your door, dude.
Yeah, I know. And Kai is a little Nate, so it's just it's going to be amazing. Yeah.
There you
yeah,
go.
Yeah. Oh, they're just an amazing. I want to see. I want my crystal ball with this, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Can I throw this question?
Absolutely.
How about this question for you, Nate and Ann? So we have 1 kid, my wife and I, and 1 is hard enough. Nate, let me throw this to you. You guys have 1. When you found out it was triplets, what was going through your mind, dude?
Well, if you want to know the truth, like I said, we were so convinced that there was going to be at least 1 boy. It was shocking enough to find out we were having triplets, but to find out 3 girls, I could not process it. And I literally, about 15 minutes later, I told my wife, I said, I have to go to the golf course and clear my head.
There you go.
I was like, wait, you're leaving? I was like, don't we need to process this together?
Yeah, and he doesn't drink, okay?
It was so overwhelming. I did not know how to handle it. I feel, super blessed and excited now. But it was just, very few men in the world ever find out they're going to have 3 daughters at once. It's just bizarre.
Hashtag girl dad.
Yeah, girl dad.
Girl dad. Yep. Oh, it's just amazing. Okay, well, we will revisit that.
Yeah.
We're going to keep track of that.
Okay.
But do you want to speak a little bit more about the foundation, or tell us a little bit more about the bring up the book again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What I think would be maybe awesome to talk about is because there's so many people that go through. I think it's 15 to 20% of all couples actually face some form of infertility, and it took us 4 years to get pregnant with our son. And he's a walking miracle. We have the foundation that the Kairos Fertility Foundation in his name. Of course, the book came along with that. But then we wanted to give him a sibling, and with our medical diagnosis, we knew it was never going to be easy. We actually went to 3 different countries to do IVF procedures over the last few years to try to, bring him as a sibling. And, Ann heard from God, and he said, you're supposed to go to Cyprus. And I went nuts. I was doing this, but something led us to the country of Cyprus. And, we don't really watch the news. The COVID was just starting to hit in Europe. And we got to the airport, and we had seen that the countries were going to Greece and Cyprus. There were literally no COVID cases in the country. And we said, all right, well, we're not going to, we're going to go. And we get to the airport and half the people are in masks. And we kind of say, oh, my gosh, like, what have we gotten ourselves in? So the day we get to Cyprus, the country's divided by two, the Turks govern the north and the Greeks govern the south. And they have a border, you got to check passports and all that. We go to the border and they decide, it's right when things blew up in Italy. And they decided they were going to shut down every border in the country except for one. And they were checking temperatures at the border. If you have a fever, they don't let you pass. And so we're going to go 1 mile.
With a 4-year-old who hasn't eaten with no food.
And something just told us, the voice just said to keep going. And, we went through, we made it through, we got to do the procedure. They shut down the border the next day. They weren't letting anybody pass. So we waited one more day, we wouldn't have gotten through. And then the day we get home, Trump announces the travel ban. And if we got home, mandatory quarantine in a military base for 2 weeks. And now we come back and we have triplets. And our doctors, they said that chances of this happening were less than 1%. So, it's all miraculous.
Even with someone with no fertility issues, and I have a ton, or had a ton, and absolutely insane. They've never had anybody do what we've done and had the odds come this way. Our clinic was absolutely blown away. So it was really crazy. Oh, and on the way there, our plane got hit by lightning.
What?
Oh,
So that was fun.
Had everything against
Dude, that is a higher power right there.
Absolutely.
It is a higher power.
Absolutely. That is
Yes.
God.
And the
That is
moment
God.
we arrived in Turkey, before we got to Cyprus and Greece, there was a huge double rainbow. And we flew into it, and I was like, "Oh my God,
wow.
this is
I'm looking at
crazy!"
choke
I know.
So I just want to say
I
for the
know.
people out there who have a desire to be parents, if it's a desire of your heart, don't give up. It's not going to always be easy, but don't give up because there is a rainbow at the end.
Your rainbow baby will come. And, for me, one of the most exciting things for me has been I've had so many brave women contact me, about their infertility struggle. And it's become kind of my calling. And I don't want to start crying, but, my calling to kind of just mentor them and be there for them and just give them hope and let them know that it's temporary because, the struggle is just so hard. It is so hard and people just don't understand it. And, it's really you're just grieving and then you grief and loss and grief and hope and grief and hope. And it's just really, really hard. I just, want to talk to the people out there who are trying, your baby's on the way.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that amazing?
I know.
I know. They're amazing. They are just amazing. And God is good. God is good.
He's a God. He's a God of abundance. We tried for 3 years. He gave us 3 days.
You got that right.
And you would never think, I decided to start a social media to keep track of the triplets because I have a huge family overseas and I can't 30-some cousins and it's crazy. Mom was one of 8, so it's how did I get fertility issues? But I have this huge family overseas and I'm not going to be sending them pictures daily, so I just started this Instagram kind of casually, Kai plus triplets is the name. It's just, people are really so loving and it's actually been a great vehicle for me to meet other women who are struggling with infertility.
Oh, that they just, yeah.
How about Kai? What's Kai thinking?
Oh, he's pumped.
Where is he?
Well,
Where
what's
is Kyle?
crazy is that, all kids have their little comfort items, and he is all boy. But, so a lot of kids have blankets or, they suck their thumb or stuffed animals. His comfort item since he was 1.5 years old, he has 3 little girl baby dolls.
No
Go
way.
figure.
No.
Yes.
It's crazy. And he
Yes.
treats those babies like they are his own. So he's a big brother.
Well, that was your first sign right there.
A triplet brother. He started to have birthday parties for him and he wraps presents and makes games and
He's
it's
so creative.
cute.
He is so creative.
He's super into it. Because we let him
Wow.
into all of this. When I was crying on the bathroom floor after an IVF failed, he would come into the bathroom and say, "Mommy, why are you sad?" And I told him the truth. And, he knows he was part of this. He held my hand for every shot. And, he knows what an embryo is. He knows so much more about fertility treatment.
He'll be
than
an
a 4-year-old
IVF
could, but
physician.
He does. And
Yeah.
he's really excited. And every night he prays at the strong. Yeah, and then mommy doesn't have to have stitches,
Tearing
which
up.
I probably will have to have a C-section because 3 babies are not easy to get out.
No.
So
Hey, Jerry.
Just so much.
Yes, sir.
I know you find this amusing. The 3 girls are coming. So somebody told me last week. They said if you guys are going to ask for a gift, you need to ask for a year subscription to diapers on Amazon by the month, because they said Ann dropped this bomb last month. She said we're going to need 700 to 800 diapers a month for these babies. Yes, I
Oh
see
my
your look.
gosh.
800. So if anybody out there has it on their heart for a $500
There you go.
subscription
The
to
diaper
diapers,
fund.
we
Go
probably
fund
say
me
no,
for
okay?
diapers.
We raised $35,000 for the
Yeah,
fireworks.
hey,
We need
you know,
$35K for the
That's
Kiblers and
right.
diapers.
That's
baby.
right. Yeah, we do.
You know,
Yeah,
one
we
of the
do.
things I love about you is you guys were so, first, I'm going to read this, okay? This is, Barbara dropped this off. I've felt, and a lot of people have, that they've shared in your journey. You guys have been so vulnerable and so open.
Yes.
It is so courageous what you guys are doing, because you're sharing extremely intimate details here. Can you walk me through that mindset of how hard was this in the beginning to now you're empowering other people?
yeah.
Well, most people with this live in fear and isolation, and none of that comes from God. And, when we made the decision that we were going to be open about this, it's just amazing the doors that started opening and the lives that started being impacted from it. And we just know that we're called to try to make a difference for that. And, there have been a lot of people in the wedding industry who have been amazing, and they have supported us. And, Barb's one of those people. She helped us with our event last year that allowed us to, provide a scholarship for another couple. She didn't ask for any money. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do the event if it was not for her and other people in the industry that helped out. So it has been, a community involved. And with these 3 babies coming, we just know that they're going to be loved by a lot of people.
The truth is, Jerry, I'm one of these people. I have so much pride. It's like, oh, I can do it. I got it. But when you have triplets coming, no, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you
We
don't.
do not have this together.
Yeah.
And, it's like, there's no way other than to just be open and just real and vulnerable. And, it's been really great because I think it's actually empowered other people to be open about their experiences, because one of the things about infertility that's so tough is isolation.
Yes.
You're in shame, you're living in shame, and you feel powerless, and, it's hard. You start ostracizing yourself, and, it's just not healthy to do that, because I feel like the devil gets his way with you when you do that. So, it's good to be open and, to be vulnerable and let other people in. And I wasn't the best at that, to be honest, during the journey, but, I tried, and that's all you can do when you're going through it.
Now, in
And
your
when you're going
spare
through any
time,
struggle, when you're going through any struggle at all.
in your spare time,
Yeah,
we're going to need a second book.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to need a second book, because this is just the first part of the journey. And this, you're going to need another book.
This is a
You're just
movie
going to, it's a movie script.
movie script.
Yes, it is. It is. There you go.
Come on down, Nate Kibler. Come on down.
Right, exactly. Okay, well, we should pivot
We should talk
into the weddings. So I guess I first met Ann with hair and makeup. And we've had a lot of circles. There's so much going on, not only with the 2 of you, but the whole family is into weddings in some capacity. So there's the photo booth, which I have to touch on the photo booth. I talk this one up all the time. It's very unique in that it's not only entertainment, but it's a favor. It's because you take home your little strip of photos, and then they take a strip of the photos and they put it into a book, and everyone signs it, so that becomes an instant guest book. So that's done. And then they take a CD of the photos home.
And the social media component.
So it's all wrapped up into one, and we partner on that. And then the hair and makeup, she's an amazing artist and has amazing artists who work with her, and great to work with. So natural too. There's something about the makeup. Their hair is one thing, but the makeup for weddings, you can do your own makeup It's not good enough for photos. And this is what I tell my brides. And there's stage makeup. You don't want that. You're going to look like a clown.
That's exactly right.
But for photos, it's totally different. So wedding makeup is just different. It's not what you expect. So doing a trial, she gets them ready.
Give us the breakdown, Ann.
Well, it's really a niche, It really is a niche because, everyday makeup is a lot more low key. And then stage makeup, has to be seen from the stage. So it's kind of like if you see them up close, it's like really intense. So, wedding makeup is in the in-between. And it does require a very sophisticated type of artistry because it's really easy to just go overboard and just do finger painting kind of stage makeup, whatever. But the beauty and the blending and making it look real and honest and making the person really shine the most beautiful version of them, but without changing them so much that they're unrecognizable, You don't want to
walk up to your partner and they go, who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you want people to look at you and be like, wow, you look fantastic, but you totally still look like you. Not like, whoa, I mean, I wouldn't even recognize you if I saw you on the street, so it is a fine line there. It's very fun. It's very fun.
And then tell us about the bounce house.
Now that's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I've been looking for a long time to do something fun that was new that hadn't been done in Charlottesville because photo booths are fun. That's what we've been doing for a long time. And we couldn't find out, couldn't figure out what it was. And then it just kind of came to us. And this was this concept was starting to take off overseas. And we looked around and there was literally nobody in the country who was doing this. And one thing led to another. And then we started the company. We've probably had, and I don't even know how this has happened, but we've had people from probably 25 different states reach out to us and ask us if we could do their wedding.
Wow.
We might be one of the few that are actually doing it, I think is part of the thing. And, with me just being who I am and the way that I want it to be, I'm going to make sure it looks really pretty.
Right.
It's going to be great for pictures for bridal parties. The pictures with them are amazing. And then, of course, any wedding that has any kind of children, I would say that we're going to go ahead and put this on air that we're not babysitters,
yes.
But I know that, to drop the kids off for 20 to 30 minutes in the bounce house is, they're just going to have a blast. And
then they're exhausted and you can just put them to bed after.
Nate, I would be in your bounce house, Nate. I would have a couple of bourbons and a beer and be with the
that
kids
was my
in
next
the bounce
question.
House.
The troubleshooting of alcohol.
It's not just the kids, it's also the adults.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that we chose to design it this way is we designed it specifically with photography in mind.
Nice.
Like the ceiling, the walls, the sides, it's only like about 3/4 or 1/2 the commercial grade kind of rubber for the bounce house, and then the floor and the ceiling, it's like a giant light box. Like on a bad day and there's like a streak of sun, it diffuses it and it's so beautiful, and the photos just look so airy and pretty, and they're floating and having fun, and it's just absolutely gorgeous in there.
Mm-hmm.
Jen shot our shoot, and I'm obviously some random pictures.
Jen Ferriello.
Jen Ferriello.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I took some random pictures on my phone, and so did everybody else, and they just looked so professional, just because they're so great in this thing.
Hey, Jerry, I do expect you to come in. You're more than welcome. We'll set something up. It doesn't have to be just for weddings. It can be for a classy event.
Right.
I know you've taken pictures in our photo booth because I edit them. And just so you know, all the pictures you've had in put away, never to be seen by anyone else.
I love this guy. This guy's got leverage over me right now.
Exactly.
The last time
You
I
sure
saw
do.
you, I think, Nate, I remember the last time I saw you. It was at Junction.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, you were there at Junction. We had a talk. I was so impressed with you guys because I remember, Ann, you took a class that we did for social media back in the day. You remember that? And you guys have freaking boomed, man. I mean, you have 3 companies. You guys are booming. We're a platform of hope and obviously a platform that showcases entrepreneurship and small business. When you got in this game, did you guys think you would be at this point? I mean, can you give us the flip book of that?
No, not at all.
and Barb knows this about us. Our whole life, is a walking ministry. So we give all the glory to God. And, it's not about getting rich. It's not about any of those things for us. It's just about having a life where we can, we're our own bosses. We get to own our own businesses. That's the American dream, right? And it gives us the opportunity to still be at home. We're going to be able to raise our children.
Be together.
Yeah, and it's just it really is just a blessing. I think that the people work with us, we show, our character, and we treat people fairly, and we love our brides, and we want them to have a great experience with everything we do. And, the relationships with the other vendors in the industry really matter to us, and we really do care about them too, and it's all been part of it.
I mean, all this was not at all like our, vision in the beginning. I mean, when you're an entrepreneur, you're supposed to think with the end in mind, how big you can get and how, all that ambitious stuff. But, we just kind of took it one step at a time and just walked in love and gratitude and honesty, and, just responded to people when they inquired.
When we got together, we never said, let's rent out bounce houses and photo booths. that was not like really.
When we got together, we were so lost. I mean, we were just so lost. And we started with absolutely nothing. Nothing. And I don't know if it's perfect.
Yeah,
that's right. I know.
So good.
So,
keep talking, baby.
Honest way about you, and you just do it. The referrals started coming in. And that's just the way that I think that God intends it to be. You put out that good vibe, and you help people, and you love on people, and it comes right back to you tenfold.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And so your dad went into weddings at the family home, and that seems to be growing. So we'll have more about that later. Your sister-in-law is a photographer and does weddings, Sylvia Kibler. And so everybody's into, dabbling into weddings all over the place. But tell me, who was your mentor, Nate? Tell me more about your mentor.
Well, there's been so many people. I just think mentors are incredibly important with whatever you're doing in life, whether it's your faith, your business, your family. But my parents, and of course my dad, he's a businessman, a real estate developer, and just, he's just always been there for me my entire life. Like, all I've ever known from him and my mom is love. And, they've supported everything that we've done. And, they're people of strong faith and high integrity. And it's like when I saw my dad, how, it's like what's going on now reminds me of about 12 years ago with what happened in the real estate industry, in a different way, but it's similar.
Yep.
And,
How so, Nate? How so?
Well, we were in the mortgage industry. Ann and I were in the mortgage industry in D.C., and the reason we came back to Charlottesville was because, financially that we had.
I had to declare bankruptcy. I started from absolutely nothing. So I fell in love with this guy. He's like, "Oh, come move in with me in my parents' basement." Okay. So I did. And that's how I ended up in Charlottesville. No joke.
So, and that's why when we're here.
That's
Sorry, go ahead. Did you have another question, or do you want me to?
No,
keep going.
No, well, and for us the second time around, it's like, our identity is not in our business. Our identity is not in our how much money's in our account. Our identity really is in Christ. And for us, it's like, fear doesn't come from God. And like when you hear the media and everybody else out there saying freak out, like, you don't have to do that. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but you just have to stay the course and persevere. And it's like, 12 years ago, we would have thought that, there were a couple of years where it's like, I came back to Greene County. I didn't have a job. I started delivering pizzas. It's like, is this how it's always going to be? But no, it's not. To your business now, you still have the ability to bounce back. And I just declare that, for everybody out there who's struggling.
And wherever you are, and I'm just talking to everyone out there, wherever you are right now, that does not define how it has to be forever. You can choose at any moment to turn things around, and it happens slowly. But if you just keep that course and I guess keep your faith that everything will be all right. It does. It's impossible for you to just keep trying and have faith and be honest and run a great business and have it not work out on some level. You just have to keep planting good seeds.
Wow,
This is amazing.
I know. I don't know how to finish
How
up
do
now.
we-
I can't follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys and Tiffany, I can't even, take it, Jerry.
How about this, Nate and Ann? Where do you think weddings are going to go? I asked that question to Tiffany. What's your crystal ball saying, Nate and Ann, about weddings moving forward?
My crystal ball is saying that Charlottesville is the second biggest wedding destination on the East Coast, and it's about to be the first because we have the best, group of professionals.
Nate.
We have amazing venues, and I'm going to see within next spring, 200 people weddings, and we're going to be right back to where we were and even stronger. That's what I see.
Love this guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing structurally wrong with Charlottesville. Like, it's this COVID thing, and it's just kind of, cast a shadow on things a little bit. But, everything's all right here. We're still all good, and we're still fighting. And I think it's all going to be okay. I really do. I don't know when it's going to be completely turned around.
Got to be optimistic.
That's right.
Amen, brother.
Well, on that note, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration. You totally are.
We love you, Barb.
And I love you guys.
Barb's an
we
amazing
love you
person,
too.
and she's a good friend, and we just thank you guys. We just wanted to come on and have fun, so we did.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
I love how you just said that. We
Sorry,
just wanted to come on and have fun.
We didn't see Kai. What did you do with Kai?
Can we see Kai? Is Kai around?
Kai is upstairs with
how
Alma.
long do we have? Do we have more than 30 seconds?
We have no rules here. We can wait for
Grab
you.
him and I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me throw this
So I
question
have
to you, Ann.
apologize for his face. This is totally my bad. We were at the pool for an additional 4 hours, and I forgot to sunblock his face.
Okay,
He
so
looks
he's
like
a little
a red
sunburned.
tomato. So I know there's people out there probably judging me on that, but sometimes you get caught up in other things, and
But Ann, you tan well, don't you?
Yes, I do. Well, I'm half.
But
Yeah.
you're saying Nate does not?
Well, no. Well, he's only a quarter Filipino. Because my other half is white. My mom's Belgian, and Nate's white guy. And so, he's only a quarter minority. But no, he tans really well. Kid will tan well with no sunblock at 90 degrees for 7 hours in the sun.
You're right.
Oh my
I'm really
goodness!
irresponsible, so
Look out for those girls.
Oh, look, here's your boy. Your boy's coming, Barb.
Oh,
He's kind of shy on the camera, and he didn't want to come, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
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 We'll
anything.
find a picture of him. Yeah. Okay.
You guys, this is literally one of
Thank
the
you
best
so
interviews
much.
we have ever done.
I know. It's
my
awesome.
God.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for having us. We're so grateful. Thank
Hope
you
to
so
see you
much. You guys
soon.
are awesome.
Okay.
It was
Thank
a
you,
blast.
guys. Take
Bye.
care. What a dynamic couple.
They're awesome.
Right?
They really are. They
What do you
really
love
are.
about them? Barb,
All
are
that
getting-
you see. All
Are you
that
getting
see.
choked up here?
Yeah, they always choke me up. They always do. They're just very special. They're very special. They're like family to me. So yeah.
Seems
yeah.
like you've got a lot of family, Barb.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of family.
You're a lucky lady.
Everywhere. Yes. Very fortunate. Very
You're-
blessed.
You're
Absolutely.
a lucky lady. Did you love, and I'm going to get out of your way here, didn't you love Nate's take about Charlottesville, second on the East Coast, we're about to be number one, and here's why.
Well, yeah. Well, he's right. I mean, we do have to be positive about it. We can't. I've said it before. If you keep your head down, you're going to smack another wall. So you just have to keep looking up and looking up. I mean, staying on your knees and looking up, and it's just we have to be positive. And Nate and Ann are faithful people. I pray a lot, and that's where we're taking it. So
I love
it
it.
shows.
I love it. So you're going to love the comments coming in. Are you ready?
Okay.
TD Lehman, 3 girls, 3 weddings. That's a lot of money. Wow, what an incredible story from the Kiblers.
You got to get through the diapers first.
Right? How much did
Yeah.
you say? 700 or 800 diapers a month?
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
How many
we
kids do
need
you
to
have?
help that. I have 3 boys.
Okay, so you know all about
Yes,
this.
I know all about that.
What's the age
they
range
were,
of your boys?
They were 10 years apart.
All 3?
Yeah, they were 10 years apart. They were, yeah. And now I have 3 beautiful daughters in love that I call them. And 5
Daughters in love? I love
Daughters in love and 5 grandchildren.
I love it.
And they're ranged, because you have 10 years range in the boys, I have 17 years range in the grandchildren.
So that's why you got a senior
I have a
that's
senior
playing
in high
Monticello
school
softball and
and
a baby.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm getting to know your family.
Yep, that's right.
Through this.
Yeah.
So Ray Cadell says, that's a very special family. Nate's brother was best man for my son, and his dad married them.
Right? Yeah.
That shows you the power of weddings.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're close to Ray as well. They're very close family.
How about Joanna Brolo? I'm sorry I'm messing up your name. She says, great show. Angie Braslento Ott, love this lady. Oh,
That's
Barbara,
great.
this has been good. Patrick
Yeah.
Robbins, hello.
Yeah.
Rose LeMaster, so proud of you, my beautiful, talented friend. I miss your face, Barbara Lundgren.
Aw, thank you, Rose. That's yeah. I miss everybody. I mean, we just haven't seen anybody. But on that note, I hope everyone's still checking in on everyone, even though we're going into phase 3 and we're kind of getting out, but still need to check in on your friends.
Iris says, yes, we are positive. Erin King is watching from Feast. She's the director of marketing and catering. Beth Richmond Hyder from the car office says, Barbara, this is a phenomenal show.
I love Beth. Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah.
This is the best one
people.
yet.
Thanks. We're having a lot of fun. Ed
Lauterbach shared the show. Shelley Floyd, welcome to the program. All right, so let me throw this to you, Barbara. Let's go long because we're on fire right now. How are you feeling? You're the fairy godmother. How are you feeling here with wedding, the rest of the year? How are you feeling?
I'm concerned about where we are, but I'm not in fear of the industry and how we're handling things. I think we're going to do a phenomenal job. We're going to come out on top, as Nate says, and we are going to claim that. We're going to come out on top. Ray also said early on in this, the cream will rise to the top, and we're going to find our way. I think there will be a lot of pivots. I'm finding mine, because I'm one of the older ones in the industry, so I'm finding my pivot as well.
What's your pivot?
Don't know. I'm working on it. More consulting. I have the internship program where I'm training, but once I have these gals trained, they move on, and so I'm training more. It's been hard to train this year because I don't have weddings to train. So, but we're going to find a way. It's going to work out.
So phase 3 guidelines. How does it apply to weddings?
We're still working out numbers for each venue.
Okay. So that's the first step?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So you have a venue that holds 200, and it's supposed to be half of that. But some of the venues are going, okay, but we can put a few more out here, a few more tables there, and we're just arranging things in different manners so that we can get more people in. And then the dance floors seem to be the dance floors.
So what does that mean?
Meaning that we're going to have these practices in place where all of our staff, they're going to have all the safety measures. The couple is going to be in charge and liable for their
it should be.
Their guest.
Yeah.
We've shared a couple of times that some brides have said, you guys have to take your mask off for my pictures. We don't want masks in my pictures.
Yeah.
So
how do you respond to that?
I can't. I
Right.
mean, that's between the couple and their guest. But, the guest has to choose what they want to do. But that can come in most any instance. There are lots of things that they want to accommodate the bride. Of course, it's her day.
John Garland says, I love your show, Barbara. Thank you for doing this.
Hi, John.
I'm DJing my first wedding back next Saturday.
Oh, good.
John Garland.
We have to hear from that. Yeah.
So give us an update, John. Thursdays at 10:15 on the I Love CVille Network. You're getting love from Christine Siglo, Donna Spencer, Vicky Loser, Sarah Lamb, Luann Dorier, Jerry Hayden, Will Reed. The list continues. Ray says, Barbara Lundgren has no brothers and I have no sisters, so we adopted each other.
Each other.
She is a very, very special woman.
Well, I had a surprise for you today, but we're out of time. So.
What's the surprise? I know the owner of the network, and he can give you more time. What's the surprise?
I was going to sing for you.
You're going to sing?
Yeah.
She's singing. All right, I'll get off stage here because you got to take that mask off. Judah, she's
Yeah,
singing.
I have to. Yeah, I'll hyperventilate if I.
She's singing. I'm getting off here. What do you want me to do with this? Do you want me to wave it?
Yeah.
Okay. Barbara Lundgren is going to sing. Everybody tag on any of the 12 Facebook pages that you're watching the show on. If you're watching the show on any of these 12 Facebook pages, tag your friends right now and say the fairy godmother, Barbara Lundgren, is about to sing.
It's okay. It's all right.
Barbara Lundgren is about to sing. Everybody tag your friends right now. I'm going to go studio cam and raise and wave the American flag right here. Judah. Make some moves, Judah. Make some moves, Judah. He's got, we didn't tell him this, so he's going to frame you here.
Oh, dear.
This is
Okay.
amazing. This is live programming, not
Don't
planned
get that
whatsoever.
excited, okay?
I'm taking my jacket off. I'm so excited right now. Judah, you ready to rock and roll, baby?
Getting there.
Okay.
You got to hold the flag.
Okay. I'm going to wave the flag.
Wave the
Roll
flag.
my sleeves up and wave the flag. Barbara, I love you. You're fun. You're a lot of fun. J. Dubs, let's do it, baby. Give us the 3, 2, 1 when Barbara can sing.
I'm ready with one cam on her.
Okay. Show us yours. I'm waving the flag.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'm getting choked up over here, Barbara. I'm seriously getting choked up. Why didn't you sing for us on the first show? You have such a gift.
I wasn't. Okay.
You're a beautiful woman, a talented and beautiful woman. Oh, how about the 4th of July to you, Barb?
I used to do that at the ball field a lot, but, I'm still rusty, but it just came to me that I'd do that, so.
Thank you.
Anywho.
Barbara Lundgren, ladies and gentlemen. How about this? Barb, your voice is absolutely amazing. Tiffany Rosales. Jacqueline Greiger's watching from Craig Hartman's outfit. Nate Kibler says your voice is amazing. Ray Cadell says I'm standing and even took my hokey dad hat off. He has his hand over his heart right now. I can't keep up with the comments that are coming in. Beth Hyder, American flag emoji, American flag emoji, Barbara, that was beautiful.
Thanks. Well, I used to be better, but when you don't use it, you lose it, but it's okay.
Barbara Jones. Barbara, what an amazing voice. Perfect way to kick off the 4th of July weekend. Carrie Woolard, I get goosebumps every time I hear this song and Barbara sing. Carrie Woolard, I love this. I can't keep up with the comments that are coming in. We may have to close every show with a song.
Oh, no.
Can we do that? Please?
I don't think so.
You're a gem, Barbara.
Though that's how it started with weddings. I was singing for weddings.
Right, well, you said you had to fill in, right?
Well, that was different, but yeah, I was singing for I was a musician. I was singing, and then I started doing weddings. That's how I learned weddings. Yeah.
How do you think today's show went?
It was great.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Can't you tell when you're here and you're like, this show's going well?
It's fun. Thank you, Jerry.
You're
Appreciate
a gem. This show airs Thursdays at 10:15. It's the Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase. It's presented by Barb Wired and this fabulous woman. and this fabulous woman who has the idea of showcasing you guys, the vendors in the wedding and event space in this area, and just giving you a platform. We also want to thank Keswick Vineyards and the Schoenbergs for being a part of the show.
Absolutely.
My friend, your weekend plans.
Oh, well, I'm going to watch fireworks. Do some more yard work, that kind of thing. It's still quiet, but yeah, we'll go out and watch the fireworks, and I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you, the community, to everyone in the community for staying. They want the fireworks.
They want the fireworks.
I mean,
it was
shows.
obvious, right?
Absolutely. Everybody came out. Big shout out to State Farm. They are
Mac
bringing
Weems, Gary Albert,
and of course Wendell Wood.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited about all of this. So, and we'll talk about that more next week too. We're going to, not to neglect any of the sponsors. We're going to have a big sponsor shout out next week, but we're going to do well by the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank as well.
Iris says, you have not lost it.
Iris can sing too.
Chris is watching in Belmont. Jerry, my entire family stopped what we were doing, put our hands over our heart, and sang along with Barbara Lundgren in our living room.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. Thursdays at 10:15 on the I Love CVille Network, presented by Barb Wired. She's the fairy godmother, Barbara Lundgren herself, going out of her way to spotlight you guys, the vendors in this beautiful space. I got choked up 3 times the last by Barbara singing. What is happening to me? I used to never get choked up or everything.
You're getting
then
soft,
I have
Jerry.
a son, and I get such a softie. Oh my gosh, I'm turning into old man. All right, guys, I love you. Barbara's amazing. When you see her this weekend, give her a high five safely, because she is dynamic lady. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us on the Virginia Wedding and Event Showcase, powered by her, Barbara Lundgren and Barb
Jerry.
Wire. Take care, guys.
Happy 4th.
Barbara, that was so good. Can we do every show?
No.
Please? That was so good. And Judah, you scrambling right there to make that happen. Thank you.
I threw him off.
Because we didn't give you a heads up about that, did we? No, Judah's like,
No, you didn't.
That might have been one of the best shows we have ever done. I Love CVille show included.
I wasn't sure how that was going to come out.